All right. It's Jared here from Crypto Plan, and I couldn't help myself, but I'm just going to have to make a video, not to respond to all the FUD that is going out there about XRP, but just to show you the charts and show that although it feels bad right now and you're zoomed in on the micro level, if you zoom out to the macro and have a look at history, these sort of movements are normal. And also have a look over the right of the screen there. Everything is red in crypto. XRP is just a little bit more red because it overbought in the last pump. So now it's oversold. So it's just trying to find a middle ground, and I'm going to point that out in this video. But if you do like kind of non-biased technical analysis without the fundamentals, without talking about what the US government's doing to try and manipulate things, you can watch these sort of videos. So like, subscribe, do all those things. Anyway, look at where we are on the chart. We are all the way back in April 2017. Oh my goodness, is this a candle that's at some point in the day had been at under 1 cent and then gone all the way up to 6 cents in one day? Oh my goodness, is there volatility in cryptocurrency? Oh no, and then the next day it sold off by 47%. Whoa! You know, everyone's beaten on XRP, but cryptocurrencies in general do this, right? They have large pumps and large retracements, and then they find middle ground, and then look what it did. It went sideways at 3 cents for a long time. And then it went up and 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 sideways and sideways. And then it went up, and it found a top in the very end at 273. And yes, it does retrace against Bitcoin, and yes, it does kind of fall back down eventually and find support levels of 31 cents, 38 cents, whatever you want to call it. This spike here found support, and now this area here is finding support in. It's finding support around here. That's normal, right? It's a chart. It's been around a long time. Not everyone has made their money and been a super duper hero of XRP and sold out at the top. That's a few smart people that know that this thing does that. A lot of people are buying in this region, and I'm going to put on a particular tool that will show you something in particular of where people bought in on this last particular pump. And hopefully by the time this thing loads, and we'll just kind of draw it out a little bit there. And you can see that for a long time this thing went sideways. Everybody was accumulating based on whatever narrative they were getting fed, right? For me, it's the long-term utility of the token, as well as the fact that it will pump with Bitcoin in an alt season and every other altcoin, right? So I want to take massive percentages of profit out of it. But I also do want to hold some of it long term, just in case it is the currency of the future or one of the currencies of the future, because I believe it can be. But what you'll see here, and my tool isn't actually coming up because it's taking a little while to load, is that accumulation. If you got in anywhere around here, 29 cents, 30 cents, you are okay. Right? So anywhere around here, you're okay. You'll be safe, because what has come in, we found a resistance here at 33 cents, right? So what happened over here? 33 cents was the spike. So resistance has turned into support, sorry. So we found support at 33 cents. And that will probably hold, because that's the technical analysis that we need to look at, not the fact that the SEC has done something yesterday and then today they've actually charged them with someone. Do you think that that was just concocted overnight? The news was released here because it's convenient to release it here when XRP was already on a downtrend, when people were already ready to be shaken out of the market. They're not going to release the news up here when everyone's euphoric, because no one's going to listen to it. No one's going to pay attention to that news. You've got to release news when the news is going to be heard the most. Now, why is XRP the only one being picked on as a security? There is other crypto projects that are using currencies that are related to their project that could be deemed a security, but it's not. Anyway, we won't get into that fundamentals. Another thing I want to show you is going down to some smaller time frames. This is not confirmation that there's support there, but we can see on a 15-minute, it's bounced off. There's been several green candles since. If we go into that 30-minute time frame, this particular falling candle ended up green. So that's a clear indicator that it's overextended and it's bounced off very quickly. So that's another thing we want to look at. But I want to go back to the daily chart. And I want to have a look at a particular thing on the chart, because I want to show you the critical level where we need to kind of bounce on out of. And I think that it is somewhere around here, 40, 41. I'm going to call it 41. Now, back on the 15-minute chart. I'm just waiting for it to load. But basically, I noticed something a little bit earlier. At 41 was a very volume-defined area. Now, that kind of tells me that if there was a lot of action going on there, that's where a lot of people FOMO'd in the last time. So anyway, I'm looking for somewhere around 41 as a candle, like a 4-hour candle close above, and then moving upwards beyond that, to just be evidence that we're okay. So there we go. There's some nice volume there. 41,462. So that's telling us on these small time frames there was a lot of action going on there, and then a little bit more at 43. So these are all those levels that when everyone was being told buy XRP, it won't go down, it's going to the moon. You're watching a YouTube video saying it's going to 10, 30, 100, and people are like, oh, can I buy this thing at 41 cents? Oh, fucking, of course I will. And then, you know, same again at 43, they've FOMO'd in. 45, they've FOMO'd in. 47, they've FOMO'd in. 48, they've FOMO'd in. So these are all those key levels of selling recently of where people bought. So somebody's going, oh crap, I'm going to sell here because that's where I bought it. Oh crap, I'm going to sell here because now I'm in negative. Oh crap, I'm going to sell here because now I'm in negative. Oh crap, I can't hold on to my bag because I'm weak. Oh, I'm definitely very weak because I definitely FOMO'd and heavy here. That's the truth of the matter. Like, you know, take it or leave it, like it or not. XRP is here to stay. If it's not in the USA, that's their bad. If anyone's seen any interviews with Brad Garlinghouse recently, they will know that 95% of the business of Ripple is overseas clients, and overseas jurisdictions are saying that XRP is a utility coin, and that's the fact of the matter. So if the USA wants to play these games, which they are games, and they're probably games so that people in power can buy cheaper bags of XRP, to be honest. There's probably OTC deals going off left, right and center right now. But anyway, that's a little bit of tin hat stuff. But the fact of the matter is we have held a solid support level, which was resistance in the previous pump up. And that's normal. XRP has done that for its entire journey. You know, you can see here, resistance, 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 support. You know, time will tell, the rest of the day will tell, but we are okay in XRP. Anyway, like the video, you can see I'm kind of emotional about it. I'm not emotional about XRP, I'm emotional about people that jump on the bandwagon of beating a particular altcoin up when all altcoins do this. You know, if we go over to the XLM chart, it's doing the same thing. It's going up and it's reaching around and falling down. It's just XRP is overextended up and overextended down. Every single coin is doing this, like except for smaller cap coins like ZIL, which is probably the one that everyone is chasing. Everyone's selling out of their XRP to buy ZIL, and what will ZIL do? It'll dip. You know, like, don't chase pumps. Just be solid about something and hold. Like, and be diversified. Look, I'm not so sad. My Riot blockchain's gone up. My Marathon Patent Group's gone up. My Argo blockchain's going up because they're around Bitcoin. Be diversified in the one industry, you know? Warren Buffett doesn't just buy one energy company, he buys three. He doesn't just buy one airline, he buys two or three. He doesn't just buy one bank, he buys two or three. When the wind is blowing in a direction, buy two or three things where the wind is going to push. You know what I mean? So if you have XRP and only XRP, you are going to be hurt. If you have Bitcoin and only Bitcoin, when Bitcoin corrects in the near future, back down to, what is it here? This 19.4 level, you know, clear volume defined resistance level. It'll correct to that at some point, probably dip below it. What are you going to say then? Like, if you're only in Bitcoin, it's going to hurt, right? But if you're diversified across the portfolio, it won't hurt because you have some green in your candles somewhere, or, you know, you're not as hurt by other things that haven't gone down by as much. But I'll tell you what, XRP is falling hard. It'll bounce even harder. Anyway, bye for now.